A mysterious darkness crept across the sky. Was it a natural disaster? A divine warning? Or something else entirely? Some thought it was Judgment Day. I am going to uncover the chilling story of one of history's most baffling and unforgettable days. It was the morning of May 19, 1780, a day that began like any other in New England. Farmers tended to their fields, children played in the yards, and merchants opened their shops. But by mid-morning, the ordinary day turned into something extraordinary, something terrifying. A mysterious darkness crept across the sky, plunging towns and villages into an eerie night-like gloom. Birds stopped singing, flowers closed their petals, and livestock returned to their shelters as though it were evening. This event would forever be remembered as the Dark Day. What caused this strange phenomenon? Was it a natural disaster, an act of God, or something else entirely? Let's journey back to that fateful day and uncover the mystery. The day began with an unusual atmosphere. On the evening of May 18th, residents across New England noticed an ominous yellowish tint in the sky. The air felt heavy, and clouds loomed dark and foreboding. By sunrise on May 19th, the sun appeared dim and red, barely visible through a thick haze. Farmers in Vermont and Massachusetts paused their work to glance at the unsettling sky, while fishermen along the coast hesitated to set sail. By 10 a.m., the darkness began to spread. It wasn't a gradual dimming but a sudden and overwhelming blackness that enveloped everything. Witnesses described it as midnight darkness in the middle of the day. Candles were lit in homes and public buildings. People stumbled through streets unable to see their own hands before them. The darkness was so profound that it seemed to have a physical presence. It was as if night had fallen prematurely, but without the stars or moon to guide. The only sound was the rustling of leaves and the distant howling of wolves, which added to the eerie atmosphere. As the darkness deepened, fear gripped the hearts of New Englanders. Many believed that Judgment Day had arrived. In churches, pastors read aloud from apocalyptic scriptures, warning that the end of times was near. One witness wrote, "It was so terrible dark that we could not see our hand before us." In Hartford, Connecticut, where the state legislature was in session, lawmakers debated whether to adjourn or continue their work. One legislator famously declared, "I am against an adjournment. The day of judgment is either approaching or it is not. If it is not, there is no cause for an adjournment. If it is, I choose to be found doing my duty." Theories about the cause of the darkness spread rapidly. Some blamed volcanic eruptions or massive thunderstorms. Others whispered about divine punishment or supernatural forces. Skeptics dismissed these claims but could offer no better explanation. As the day wore on, the fear turned to despair. People gathered in churches and town squares, praying for deliverance from what they believed was a divine wrath. The darkness seemed to have a profound psychological impact, bringing communities together in a shared moment of terror and awe. The natural world seemed equally disturbed by the event. Birds fell silent and disappeared from sight. Chickens returned to their coops as if night had fallen. Cattle lay down in their pastures. Flowers folded their petals tightly as though shielding themselves from an unseen threat. By afternoon, even more unsettling phenomena occurred. The moon became visible despite the thick darkness but shone with an eerie reddish hue, what some described as blood red. This further fueled apocalyptic fears among those who saw it as a biblical sign. The darkness also affected the local wildlife. Fish swam erratically in rivers, and birds that had been singing just hours before now huddled in silence. It was as if nature itself was holding its breath, waiting for the darkness to pass. Eyewitnesses from across New England documented their experiences with vivid detail. George Washington, stationed in New Jersey during the Revolutionary War, noted in his diary, "Heavy and uncommon kind of clouds, dark and at the same time a bright and reddish kind of light intermixed with them, brightening and darkening alternately." Pastor William Gordon observed that candles were needed even at noon and remarked on how widespread the darkness was, from Maine to New Jersey and as far west as Albany. A Massachusetts farmer recalled how his entire village gathered in prayer, convinced they were witnessing Judgment Day. These accounts capture both the fear and wonder that defined this extraordinary event. For decades after 1780, scientists debated what could have caused such an unusual phenomenon. Early theories included a solar eclipse, ruled out by astronomical records. Volcanic eruptions, no significant activity was recorded at that time. A massive thunderstorm, unlikely given historical weather reports. Modern research points to massive forest fires in Canada's Lake Champlain region as the most likely cause. These fires would have produced thick smoke and ash that combined with foggy weather conditions to block sunlight over New England. The reddish hue of the sun and moon could be attributed to particles scattering light in specific wavelengths. While this explanation satisfies scientific inquiry, it doesn't diminish the awe inspired by that day. When dawn finally broke on May 20th, relief swept through New England like a fresh breeze after a storm. People emerged from their homes cautiously, gazing at the familiar sun with newfound appreciation. In churches across the region that weekend, sermons reflected on what many saw as a divine warning. Some pastors linked the dark day to biblical prophecies about celestial signs preceding Judgment Day. Others urged their congregations to live righteously in light of life's unpredictability. For poets like John Greenleaf Whittier, the dark day became a source of inspiration. In his writings, he captured both its mystery and its impact on human hearts. "'Twas on a May day of the far old year, 1780. Even today, the dark day remains a subject of fascination for historians, scientists, and storytellers alike. To fully understand the significance of the dark day, it's essential to consider the historical context. The year 1780 was a tumultuous time in American history. The Revolutionary War was ongoing, and many New Englanders were deeply involved in the fight for independence. The darkness seemed to add another layer of uncertainty and fear to an already precarious situation. Despite these challenges, the event brought communities together. Neighbors who might have been divided by politics or social status found common ground in their shared experience of fear and awe. The dark day also had a profound cultural impact. It influenced literature, art, and even music. Writers like Nathaniel Hawthorne referenced the event in their works, using it as a metaphor for the unknown and the power of nature. In art, the darkness was often depicted as a symbol of mystery and divine intervention. Paintings from the period show scenes of people praying or seeking shelter from the unexplained phenomenon. Even in modern times, the dark day continues to inspire creative works. It serves as a reminder of the awe-inspiring power of nature and the enduring human quest to understand the mysteries of the universe. Over the years, scientists have continued to investigate the cause of the dark day. While the consensus points to forest fires and weather conditions, some researchers have explored other possibilities, including unusual atmospheric phenomena or even extraterrestrial events. Despite these investigations, the exact cause remains somewhat speculative. What is clear, however, is that the event was not isolated to New England. Reports of unusual darkness were noted as far away as New York and Pennsylvania. For those who lived through the dark day, it was a life-changing experience. Many reported feeling a deep sense of humility and awe in the face of nature's power. The event reminded them of their place in the world and the fragility of human existence. In personal diaries and letters, individuals reflected on how the darkness affected their spiritual lives. Some reported a renewed commitment to their faith, while others began questioning the role of divine intervention in natural events. The Dark Day of 1780 stands as one of history's most enigmatic events, a moment when nature's power eclipsed human understanding and reminded everyone of life's fragility. Whether seen as a natural phenomenon or a divine message, it left an indelible mark on those who lived through it. As we reflect on this mysterious day from our modern vantage point, we are reminded that even in our age of science and technology, there are still mysteries that defy explanation, moments when we must pause and marvel at forces greater than ourselves. And so ends our tale of the Dark Day. What do you think caused this event? Was it merely smoke from distant fires, or something more profound? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.